Chapter 3856. Have seen a bit, but can't guarantee authenticity. Thunder roared deafeningly, and countless bolts of lightning danced in the sky. A trap? A formation? Lin Moyu laughed, using a formation as a trap in front of him. Not just the Dragon Clan. Even if the current formation Dao Lord or the former world-sealing Dao Lord took action, it wouldn't be enough to impress him on the origin continent. Lin Moyu knew his own formation skills had long surpassed the continent's peak level. The formation before him looked complex, but to his eyes, it could be broken with ease. In fact, he'd already noticed this hidden formation on his way in, but didn't expose it. He wanted to see what the Dragon Clan was up to, and it was also a way to help Antares make up his mind. Antares frowned.
Aobai, explain what's going on. Why are you here?
Aobai said, after I left that great world, I managed to return to the outer Great Tao. I spent some time merging with it and regaining my strength. Later, when the upheaval broke out, I saw the Crown Prince in the outer Great Tao and knew he'd return someday. So I secretly came back to the Dragon Clan and contacted those who supported him.
But in the end, we were discovered. After a big battle, we were all trapped in the Thunderbone Dragon Shearing Array.
He coughed.
They didn't kill us. They wanted to wait for the Crown Prince to come and see what had become of us. We just weren't strong enough to help him.
Antares' anger was rising, but he stayed rational and explained to Lin Moyu, our Dragon Clan, as a race born from the solar origin, has some special abilities. Relying on the solar origin, we can break through the world's limits and enter or leave the origin continent.
But after entering the origin continent, our power is also suppressed by the world's upper limit. Back when Aobai was punished and sent to the origin continent, he couldn't grow stronger, so that was his punishment.
Only now did Lin Moyu understand why Aobai, despite his great Dao realm cultivation, hadn't been strong in the great world. His power was limited by the world's rules and its ceiling. At that time, the divine path was cut off in the great world, and Sacred Venerable was the limit, so that was Aobai's cap as well. Aobai said weakly, luckily, the Crown Prince once gave me a branch of the Dragon God Tree. I brought it with me, and although I was restricted, I could at least protect myself.
After coming back, I was able to recover to my peak for a while, but so many years were wasted. Now I can't even beat those I used to defeat.
He sighed, full of helplessness. Antares snorted.
No matter. Now that I'm back, those guys will pay.
In the distance, dragon roars echoed, followed by laughter.
So what if you're back? Now you're trapped in the 10,000 dragons world-ending array, and can't even save yourself. Better think about how to survive.
Hundreds of divine dragons flew over, stopping outside the formation. The leading dragon was surrounded by the aura of a great Dao Lord, but for some reason, Lin Moyu felt something was off. He had the aura of a Dao Lord, but didn't seem like a real one. Lin Moyu looked closely and realized that this dragon wasn't a true Dao Lord, but was using the purple gold crown to fake the aura. His real cultivation was only first-tier innate soul, half a step from Dao Lord. This purple gold crown seemed familiar. Thinking back, Lin Moyu remembered seeing it on the dragon god's head when searching for Dragon Balls in a small world for Antares. Antares glared at the lead dragon, his tone turning fierce.
Aou, why is the dragon god crown on your head?
Aou snorted.
I am the current dragon god and clan chief. Of course the dragon god crown belongs to me.
Antares narrowed his eyes.
Where did he go?
Aou replied.
That old guy abdicated and left. Impossible. What really happened? Tell me.
Antares roared, finally unable to contain his long-repressed rage. Aou sneered.
You can barely protect yourself, so why care? Even if you want to know, I might not tell you.
Antares bellowed.
I'll tear you apart.
Lin Moyu patted Antares.
No need to rush. I have my ways to make him talk. In front of me, there are no secrets.
Antares remembered Lin Moyu's techniques and calmed down.
All right.
The formation rumbled, thunder serpents danced, and countless divine dragons manifested, spewing thunderous dragon breaths at Antares. Antares roared back with his own dragon breath, blocking the thunder. The 10,000 dragons world-ending array had just started, so its power wasn't yet at its peak. The formation's feature was that it would grow stronger over time, killing its victims in despair. Antares could hold out for now, but not for long. Lin Moyu waved his hand, activating a Great Tao Divine Ability. Great Tao Divine Ability Cage. Space enveloped the formation, bombarding it violently. The 10,000 dragons world-ending array was strong, but under the Space Great Tao's assault, it didn't budge. Lin Moyu noticed another formation outside the main one, greatly boosting its defense.
A double-layered formation. Interesting.
Suddenly, Lin Moyu's voice echoed in all directions.
Senior Waterstop, since you're here, why not show yourself?
A few breaths later, a gentle laugh sounded through the world.
Lin Taoist, long time no see.
The former Waterstop Heavenly Venerable appeared, smiling. Lin Moyu said,
Should I call you Senior Waterstop or World Sealing Tao Lord now? Either is fine. No need for such formality between us.
His tone was kind, with no hint of hostility. Lin Moyu asked,
Did you come to help the Dragon Clan perfect the 10,000 Dragons world-ending array because you want to be my enemy?
The world-sealing Tao Lord chuckled. I'm here for two things. First, to complete a transaction with the Dragon Clan. I perfected their formation, and they gave me 3 Dragon God tree branches.
Second, to do a bit of business with you, Lin Taoist.
Lin Moyu was intrigued.
Let's hear it. What business?
At this moment, Aoyu suddenly shouted,
World Sealing Tao Lord, what's the meaning of this?
The world-sealing Tao Lord snorted.
Didn't you hear? I'm here to talk business with Lin Taoist. Why are you butting in?
Aoyu said,
But he's someone we must kill. Why talk business with a dead man?
Lin Moyu burst out laughing.
This guy's a real idiot.
The world-sealing Tao Lord shook his head.
He is a bit, but I wanted the Dragon God tree branches, so I had to put up with him.
Aoyu, mocked by the two, grew furious.
Lin Moyu, you're courting death.
He didn't dare lash out at the world-sealing Tao Lord, so he vented at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu ignored him and turned to the world-sealing Tao Lord.
Didn't they see the great battle in the outer Great Tao just now?
The world-sealing Tao Lord smiled mysteriously.
They saw a bit, but I can't guarantee it was authentic.
Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh. He already understood what the world-sealing Tao Lord had done. Aoyu and the others were stunned. What did?
Can't guarantee authenticity.
Mean, Chapter 3857. No breaking, no building. Before arriving at the Dragon Clan, from a great distance, Lin Moyu had already detected a massive formation. This formation was extremely well concealed. Ordinary people would never notice it. At that time, Lin Moyu knew exactly whose handiwork it was. On the Origin continent, only the world-sealing Tao Lord had the skill to set up such a formation. The function of the formation was simple. It blocked some information and made other information appear false. It was similar to an illusion array, but even more subtle. The formation was vast, covering the entire Dragon Clan territory. Because of this, the information the Dragon Clan received was all filtered. Basically, they only saw what the world-sealing Tao Lord wanted them to see. During the previous great battle, the Dragon Clan didn't check things out in person. They used various methods to observe from afar. But the information they got was altered by the formation, so what they saw wasn't real. Lin Moyu didn't know exactly what the Dragon Clan saw, but it was certain they didn't see him slaughter the entire Hell Alliance. Otherwise, they would never have dared to speak to him like this. The Dragon Clan was simply too arrogant. They didn't even realize when they'd been sold out. Lin Moyu had already figured out the cause and effect.
Let's talk business then. Senior, what do you want?
The world-sealing Tao Lord chuckled and spat out a single word.
Wine.
Lin Moyu was stunned. He'd expected some rare treasure or heavenly material, but it turned out all he wanted was wine. He even wondered if he'd misheard such a big deal. Just for wine? Oh, you couldn't help but shout.
World-sealing Tao Lord, We dragons have plenty of wine.
The world-sealing Tao Lord shook his head.
No, I only want Lin Daoist's wine.
Aoyu protested.
What's the difference? Our dragon clan's wine is older and more fragrant.
The world-sealing Tao Lord still shook his head.
It's different, completely different.
He didn't elaborate, but Lin Moyu already understood. It was because his wine contained their friendship. The quality of the wine was secondary. What really mattered was the bond between the two of them. That's what made it true fine wine. So after all the maneuvering, it was for this. Lin Moyu laughed.
All right, as much wine as you want.
The world-sealing Tao Lord lowered his voice.
As long as there's enough of your wine, everything else is minor. I've already set up a formation at the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground. No one but you can enter.
Aoyu's face changed dramatically.
What did you say?
The world-sealing Tao Lord kept smiling.
You're not that dumb, are you? Wasn't I clear enough?
Aoyu's expression was ugly as he glared fiercely at the world-sealing Tao Lord.
If you mess with the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground, our dragon clan will never forgive you.
The world-sealing Tao Lord just laughed.
Survive today first, then talk.
Antares, still fending off the formation's attacks, didn't understand the conversation and hadn't figured out what the world-sealing Tao Lord had done. Lin Moyu explained.
It's simple. Senior world-sealing Tao Lord predicted we'd come, arrived ahead of us, and made a deal with the dragon clan. Through this deal, he entered the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground and secretly set up a formation, opening a door for us and even letting the dragon clan see false images. Understand now?
As he spoke, Lin Moyu drew a divine rune and sent it into the 10,000 dragons world-ending array. In the blink of an eye, the once mighty formation fizzled out. No more dragons, no more pressure. To Lin Moyu, this kind of formation was nothing. Antares cocked his head.
So he did all that just for wine?
Lin Moyu patted his head.
You're hopeless. Of course it's not just about wine. I'll explain later. Let's take care of business first.
Antares replied.
Still, I'm curious what kind of illusion Aoyu and those idiots saw.
The dragon clan was never very bright. Antares was already one of the smarter ones. Someone like Aoyu, both dim and arrogant, was a disaster waiting to happen. Lin Moyu said,
It doesn't matter what they saw. All that matters is that the dragon clan thinks we're not strong, and yet we came here anyway. The dragon clan and I have no deep grudge. The one they really want to kill is you. I'm more curious how an idiot like Aoyu became the dragon god. Isn't there anyone smarter in the dragon clan?
Antares thought for a moment.
Probably the dragon god tree. Every dragon god needs the dragon god tree's approval.
Dragon god tree, Lin Moyu said.
We'll find out soon enough.
The world-sealing Tao Lord added.
There's indeed a problem with the dragon god tree. I sensed a powerful soul inside it.
Lin Moyu nodded, then asked Antares.
I'm about to act. Do you want me to go easy?
Antares shook his head.
No need, kill them all.
He'd been hesitant before, but after what just happened, Antares was fully resolved. Lin Moyu snapped his fingers, and the undead legion surged forth like a tidal wave. He was giving the dragon clan face. He'd only used 200 billion skeleton generals and 100 legion commanders to wipe out the entire Hell Alliance. Now, against the dragon clan, he deployed the same force. But the dragon clan only had a single Tao Lord, and not even a real one, just someone wielding a treasure to mimic Tao Lord power. Even though the dragon clan was stronger than cultivators of the same realm, the difference in numbers was overwhelming. The dragon clan, even mobilizing everyone, had at most 1 million. Lin Moyu sent in 200 billion. A difference of 10,000 times in numbers, and inferior strength. The outcome was decided from the start. The undead legion became a sea, flooding the Yang dragon Great Tao. Countless divine dragons and elemental dragons charged out, but it was useless. Great Tao divine ability. Cage. Space solidified, trapping the entire dragon clan. No dragon could escape. Aoyu's face was ashen. He never imagined Lin Moyu would be this powerful. He wasn't smart, but he could see the situation clearly. The Dragon Clan was doomed. Surrender was his only option, but Dragon Clan pride wouldn't allow it. He never considered whether Lin Moyu or Antares would even accept his surrender. The battle erupted, countless dragons died in an instant. Antares turned away, unable to watch, clearly pained. Lin Moyu didn't comfort him. Some things Antares had to come to terms with himself. With a wave, Lin Moyu sent out countless spirit flowers, one for each dragon including Aobai, to heal their wounds. He murmured,
No breaking, no building. The Dragon Clan in this world needs to change.
Antares grunted, nostrils flaring, his emotions extremely complicated. More and more dragons fell to the undead legion's blades. The divine dragons fought back fiercely, inflicting some losses, but it was insignificant. The skeleton generals revived instantly and returned to battle. In moments, half the Dragon Clan was dead or wounded.
Ancestral dragon descends.
Aou roared, and the dragon god crown on his head erupted with power. A divine dragon coiled forth, smashing through the undead legion and charging at Lin Moyu. Chapter 3858. The Dragon God Crown. Using the Dragon God Crown, Aou summoned the projection of the ancestral dragon, which instantly broke through the undead legion's encirclement and charged at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu chuckled.
It's useless.
Great Tao divine ability. Divine strength. Great Tao divine ability. Life or death. Lin Moyu's body shone brilliantly, his blood and chi roaring. With the divine abilities boosting him, his punch was unimaginably powerful. The power of death struck the ancestral dragon first. The projection howled in agony, but the death force cared nothing for that, corroding everything in its path. Next, Lin Moyu's punch landed squarely on the ancestral dragon projection's snout. With a loud crack, its head exploded like a watermelon. The ancestral dragon's head shattered, but its body remained intact and continued to attack Lin Moyu. Antares roared and rushed forward, but with a bang he was sent flying. The ancestral dragon projection only paused for a moment before charging again. Lin Moyu's fists rained down, each punch infused with death force, smashing the ancestral dragon projection's body to pieces. Antares flew back, grumbling.
Damn, that's strong.
Lin Moyu said,
This Dragon God Crown is impressive. It can actually summon the ancestral dragon's projection.
Antares replied,
The Dragon God Crown is the ancestral dragon's treasure, supposedly even stronger than a Tao Lord. If the ancestral dragon weren't dead, it might be even more powerful.
Lin Moyu smiled mysteriously.
The solar ancestral dragon may not be dead.
Antares was stunned.
What do you mean?
Lin Moyu said,
You'll find out soon enough.
Lin Moyu waved his hand, drawing a divine dragon corpse toward him. Origin level spell, Corpse Explosion. The corpse explosion activated, using the dragon corpse as material, with only one target, Aou. Boom! The great Tao thundered, and Aou's body suddenly exploded. At that moment, the dragon god crown shone with dazzling light, casting a glow over Aou's entire body, forcibly blocking the attack. Lin Moyu was surprised. This was the first time corpse explosion had ever been blocked. It was clear now. The dragon god crown was no ordinary treasure.
Let's see how many times you can block.
Corpse explosion after corpse explosion. Lin Moyu had plenty of dragon corpses to use. The dragon god crown kept shining, shielding Aou from every attack. His power seemed endless, never running out. Aou realized this too. His expression twisted as he shouted,
With the Dragon God Crown, you can't do anything to me.
10,000 dragons annihilate the world. With a roar, the Dragon God Crown erupted with blinding light. Even the solar origin paled in comparison. In the dazzling light, countless divine dragon projections flew out, each as strong as a Tao Lord. For a moment, the dragon cavalry surrounding Aou began to collapse. The other legion commanders quickly led their teams to reinforce the encirclement. Lin Moyu watched with interest.
This spell is much like the previous 10,000 Dragons world-ending array.
Antares said,
The 10,000 Dragons world-ending array actually comes from the Dragon God crown. In fact, many of our Dragon clan's secret arts come from it.
Lin Moyu replied,
Interesting. Once I get that Dragon God crown, I'll have to study it.
Antares said,
Study it all you want.
At this moment, the world-sealing Tao Lord suddenly spoke up.
Something's not right, Lin Taoist. Finish this quickly.
Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed. The eye of the undead activated, and he saw wisps of soul drifting toward a certain place. These souls came from the dead Dragon clan members. After death, their souls slipped into another space, flying off in a strange way. This method was extremely covert. Each soul split into countless threads, leaving almost no trace. Even Lin Moyu hadn't sensed it at first. Watching the direction the souls traveled, Lin Moyu pointed.
That should be where the Dragon God tree is.
The world-sealing Tao Lord said.
Yes, that's the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground.
He could sense it because he'd set up a formation there which was triggered. Lin Moyu, on the other hand, could see it directly and guessed why the souls were heading there. There's nothing else in the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground, only the Dragon God tree. The Dragon God tree was absorbing the souls of the Dragon clan, and the world-sealing Tao Lord had previously mentioned a powerful soul inside the Dragon God tree.
Could it be him?
Lin Moyu murmured. Antares was confused.
Who?
Lin Moyu said.
Just a guess, you'll know soon enough.
Antares grumbled.
Great, now you're the one being mysterious.
Lin Moyu snorted.
What goes around comes around. This is your payback.
After all, Antares had kept plenty of secrets in the past. Antares, annoyed, ignored Lin Moyu, but the distraction eased the pain of seeing his kin slaughtered. 10,000 dragon projections rampaged in the sky, like 10,000 Tao lords without spells, slaughtering the undead legion. Endless dragon breath boiled in the void, forming a sea of dragon breath, causing heavy casualties among the undead legion. These dragon projections were too strong. The undead legion's attacks were nearly useless. Onlookers who had come to watch were all shocked.
No wonder the Dragon clan is so formidable. Their foundation really is deep. I'd heard the Dragon God crown was powerful, but I never thought it would be this strong. 1 man against 10,000. Lin Moyu's puppet army is powerful, but against 10,000 Tao lords, it's still helpless. Yeah, numbers aren't enough when the power gap is so huge you just can't win. Looks like Lin Moyu's in trouble now.
These spectators commented self-importantly, not noticing that Lin Moyu showed no sign of worry. Lin Moyu's eyes were filled with curiosity. If not for the world-sealing Tao Lord urging him, he'd have played a bit longer. But now, with a thought, the Scarlet Blood Lich appeared at his side. The Scarlet Blood Great Tao erupted, and an invisible sea of blood spread through the void. The 10,000 dragon projections were tainted by the Scarlet Blood, their auras plummeting. Not only the projections, even Aoyu's aura dropped sharply, and the Dragon God crown was not spared. The power of death could corrode anything, hell spirits could devour anything, and the Scarlet Blood could pollute anything. The Dragon God crown, polluted by the Scarlet Blood, grew dim and trembled violently, trying to fly off Aoyu's head. Aoyu's face changed drastically. He clutched the Dragon God crown tightly with his claws, refusing to let it go. But it was useless. The crown shook harder and harder, finally turning into a phantom and flying off into the distance.
No! The Dragon God crown! That's my Dragon God crown!
Aoyu screamed in despair, but no matter how he called, the crown did not return. Without the Dragon God crown, his power plummeted to first-tier innate soul Tao realm. The dragon cavalry swarmed in, and he was instantly torn apart. Lin Moyu paid no attention to Aoyu's fate. He was just a minor character, irrelevant. What mattered was the Dragon God crown's destination. It was heading the same way as all those souls. After Aoyu's death, his soul was also split into countless threads, flying in the same direction. Lin Moyu waved, bringing Aoyu's corpse into his soul world, and said to Antares,
Enter my soul world.
Chapter 3859, The Ancestral Dragon. In the soul world, Lin Moyu summoned the undying flame and cast a spell, Resurrection of the Dead. In the soul void, this spell was almost useless except for a very few special beings. Most who died would have their souls scattered, leaving no body and no possibility of revival. Creatures like the Void Soul Essence Stone, a type of chaos worm, were extremely special. They were aggregates of corpses and could be used for corpse explosion. After their bodies fused, their vitality became so powerful that corpse explosion could even injure eternal beings, making them one of Lin Moyu's trump cards. But as aggregates of corpses, they had long since lost their original form. Lin Moyu tried to use Resurrection of the Dead on them, but ultimately failed. But this time, reviving Aoyu's corpse was no problem. The undying flame burned fiercely, enveloping Aoyu's shattered body. His flesh began to reassemble, and his soul, under some mysterious law, started to regenerate. Even at his current level, Lin Moyu still found Resurrection of the Dead to be miraculous. Antares watched in amazement, while Lin Moyu finally began to glimpse some of its secrets. His soul's gaze flickered as he thought,
If I'm not mistaken, Resurrection of the Dead should be related to the true spirit. That's why it ignores world barriers and the laws of the great Tao. As long as the true spirit is intact, one can be revived.
The true spirit is the most fundamental existence of any living being in a world. As long as the true spirit isn't destroyed, the being isn't truly dead. This is the world's definition of life. The self's definition is different. In the world's eyes, things like memories, experiences, family, and friends don't matter. Aoyu was reborn in the flames, crawling before Lin Moyu and respectfully calling out,
Greetings to my great master.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Not very smart, but at least your attitude is good. Looks like you were good at flattery in life too. Tell me, where did the previous dragon god go?
At this moment, Aoyu had lost all his former arrogance and answered Lin Moyu's questions honestly.
Master, the previous dragon god was devoured by the dragon god tree.
Antares' eyes widened.
What nonsense are you talking?
Lin Moyu glanced at Antares.
Don't get excited, let him finish.
Aoyu explained in detail. That day, the dragon god took me to the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground. For some reason, the dragon god seemed weak, and even the dragon god crown couldn't hide it.
We knelt before the dragon god tree, and I heard a voice asking if I wanted to become the new dragon god.
Aoyu recounted how he became the new dragon god. Antares listened silently, seemingly lost in thought and memory. Lin Moyu didn't disturb him, letting Aoyu continue to explain the Dragon Clan's secrets. The Dragon Clan had many rules. Only by understanding their inner workings could Lin Moyu make the most accurate judgments. After Aoyu's explanation, Lin Moyu gained a deep understanding of the Dragon Clan, and Antares finally figured some things out, though his eyes were still full of disbelief. Lin Moyu smiled.
Have you figured it out? What's really inside the dragon god tree?
Antares shook his head.
I don't know what's inside the dragon god tree, but I finally know where all the previous dragon gods went.
The Dragon Clan was the first race born in this era, with the longest history. In their records, the Dragon God Tree, Dragon God Crown, and Ancestral Dragon all appeared together. The Dragon God Tree and Dragon God Crown were inseparable. Every Dragon God had to receive the blessing and recognition of the Dragon God Tree to obtain the Dragon God Crown and become the Dragon God. As for cultivation level, it wasn't that important. It's well known that the Dragon God always has the power of a Tao Lord, sometimes even stronger than ordinary Tao Lords. But most people don't realize that the Dragon God's strength comes from the Dragon God Crown. Without it, they're basically just first-tier innate soul great Tao cultivators. Over countless years, there have been many dragon gods. Each time a new one appeared, the old one would
retire.
To avoid conflict, the old dragon god would usually choose to bury himself in the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground, leaving everything behind. The ancestral dragon sacrificial ground is actually the self-burial place of all past dragon gods. After the ancestral dragon's accident, the old dragon tomb was sealed, and the dragons of the outer Great Tao could no longer enter. Only the dragons of the origin continent could access the dragon tomb. As for why, legend says it was the ancestral dragon's command, which all dragons including the dragon god had to obey. This time, Aou had received a new order. The dragons of the outer Great Tao were forbidden from entering the dragon lands of the origin continent. Likewise, the dragons of the origin continent couldn't enter the outer Great Tao. Though they were the same race, they were ordered to remain separated, never to interact. This order came from the dragon god tree. It was strange, but the not-so-bright dragon clan could only obey. Lin Moyu combined his experiences in the origin continent's dragon clan and what happened in the dragon tomb with what he now knew, and finally arrived at an answer. Antares, knowing Lin Moyu was smart, didn't bother thinking further and asked directly,
"What did you figure out? Don't keep me guessing, just say it."
Lin Moyu said,
"If I'm right, the soul inside the dragon god tree should be the ancestral dragon."
Antares jumped in shock.
"The ancestral dragon? Don't scare me."
Lin Moyu said, "I'm not trying to scare you. If you think about it, it makes sense. The dragon god tree is said to have been planted by the ancestral dragon, and the dragon god crown also belonged to him. Every dragon god is eventually buried at the dragon god tree. If you look at it another way, the dragon god's power comes from the dragon god crown and dragon god tree, and in the end, they have to return those things. Using the dragon god crown comes at a price. It makes you weaker. To have Tao Lord level power at first tier innate soul, paying a price is fair. When you can't bear the price anymore, it's time for the dragon god to self-bury. Before the origin calamity, the outer Great Tao was turbulent and full of conflict, and the dragon clan was often involved. The dragon god fought a lot, so the price was high and succession was frequent. After the origin calamity, the dragon god didn't have to fight much, so the price was less and his reign lasted longer. As for why I say the soul in the dragon god tree is the ancestral dragon, it's because only the ancestral dragon could control the dragon god tree. After the ancestral dragon's accident in the wastelands, he came back cursed. He abandoned his body, buried it in the dragon tomb, and sealed the tomb. But his soul didn't enter the tomb, it went into the dragon god tree to avoid the curse. That's why he ordered the outer Great Tao's dragons not to enter the tomb, and the origin continent's dragons became sacrifices. In fact, the souls of the dragons who just died all gathered at the dragon god tree. Who else but the ancestral dragon could do that?
He's been nurturing his soul with the dragon god tree, waiting to revive after countless years.
Lin Moyu's theory was speculative but well-reasoned. Antares had to admit it made sense. Lin Moyu said,
"You don't have to believe me. Let's go to the ancestral dragon's sacrificial ground and see for ourselves."
Chapter 3860. The Dragon God Tree. The battle outside had already ended. Nearly all the dragon clan members were dead, with only those who stood on Antares' side surviving. As the spirit flowers gradually faded, the revived divine dragons looked at the scene before them in disbelief. They couldn't accept that the dragon clan, strong for countless years, had been wiped out just like that. Antares let out a dragon's roar, his voice booming.
"The great battle is over. You all stay here and clean up. The crown prince is returning."
As the former crown prince, even after years away, he still had authority, and many still obeyed his commands. The remaining divine dragons responded in unison and followed orders. Lin Moyu said,
"Let's go."
Antares led the way, with the world-sealing Tao Lord and Lin Moyu walking side by side, flying toward the ancestral dragon's sacrificial ground. Soon, they entered the deepest part of the Yang Dragon Great Tao, where the power of the Great Tao surged like flames. Inside the Great Tao, they were enveloped by the rich power of the Yang Dragon Great Tao. Lin Moyu sensed that, except for the Immortality Great Tao, his other 5 Great Taos were all affected here. The ancestral dragon's sacrificial ground appeared before them, shrouded in dense Great Tao power and surrounded by a formation one set up by the world-sealing Tao Lord. This formation was extremely well concealed. The Dragon Clan had no way to detect it, though it couldn't escape Lin Moyu's eyes. The formation extended into the sacrificial ground, leaving its entrance wide open. The world-sealing Tao Lord explained,
Originally, there were many restrictions in the sacrificial ground, but my formation has penetrated them all. They look intact, but they're useless now.
On the origin continent, all formation restrictions were meaningless before this Tao Lord except for Lin Moyu's. Lin Moyu smiled.
You've done all this, but what if I hadn't come?
The world-sealing Tao Lord shook his head.
You always repay your grudges, how could you not come? And even if you didn't, this one would.
He glanced at Antares, as if everything was within his calculations. Lin Moyu laughed.
That's true. If I didn't come, this guy would. Let's go in and meet the ancestral dragon.
The world-sealing Tao Lord activated the formation, opening a passageway. All the restrictions in the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground were rendered useless. Lin Moyu said,
As expected of the formation, Tao Lord, your formation skills truly deserve to be called the best on the origin continent.
The world-sealing Tao Lord snorted.
With you around, I can only claim third place.
Lin Moyu replied,
I just take a different path and still have much to learn. As long as it works, it doesn't matter what path it is.
The world-sealing Tao Lord said indifferently. To him, strength was strength, how you got there didn't matter. As they walked through the passage into the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground, Lin Moyu looked at Antares.
You've been here before, right?
All dragon clan members, after reaching the great Tao realm, would visit the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground supposedly to worship the ancestral dragon and receive the dragon god tree's blessing. So Antares had definitely been here. Antares said,
I came once, when I was made crown prince. But I was a bit dazed at the time and didn't see clearly.
The world-sealing Tao Lord chuckled.
It's not that you didn't see clearly, you couldn't see clearly. There are so many restrictions and formations here, they affect everyone's senses. You thought you didn't see clearly, but you simply couldn't.
Antares didn't argue. He knew the world-sealing Tao Lord wouldn't lie. Lin Moyu mused.
If you can't see, it must be to hide something.
The world-sealing Tao Lord glanced at Antares and smiled.
You'll know soon enough.
At this point, Lin Moyu drew a divine rune and placed it on Antares' head, letting it slowly sink in. Antares trusted Lin Moyu and didn't resist at all. Lin Moyu didn't explain the rune's purpose and signaled him not to ask. Ahead, mist rose with a massive shape looming within. The world-sealing Tao Lord waved his hand, activating a formation that sent out a gale, dispersing the mist and revealing a colossal tree. The giant tree towered to the sky, visible from afar. It was over 10 million meters tall, with lush branches and leaves covering a vast area. Lin Moyu compared it to the world tree, and in sheer size, even the world tree couldn't match it. Its branches coiled like divine dragons, countless in number, and the entire tree radiated boundless vitality. Before they could approach, the dragon-like branches suddenly came alive, emitting constant dragon roars. The entire tree exuded powerful malice, a terrifying presence was awakening within. Shock was clear in Antares' eyes. The dragon god tree before him was completely different from what he remembered. The world-sealing Tao Lord, as if expecting this, smiled.
Surprised?
Antares instinctively replied,
Very surprised. How could the dragon god tree be like this?
The world-sealing Tao Lord said quietly,
Let Lin Taoist explain, he can see more clearly.
Lin Moyu took over. It's simple. After the ancestral dragon was injured, he took refuge in the dragon god tree. To revive and rebuild his body, he needed immense power. All of you became his nourishment. Most of this happened during the origin calamity, but the setup began long ago. I think the ancestral dragon originally just wanted to use the dragon clan's power to further himself. Later, it became about using the dragon clan to revive.
To be honest, resurrection is harder than advancing further. After all these years, he still hasn't succeeded.
The world-sealing Tao Lord added.
That's true. Resurrection is harder than advancing a rule of the world.
Lin Moyu continued.
All the dragon gods who buried themselves here have truly had their souls scattered. They've been completely digested by the dragon god tree. The tree didn't just absorb them, it also did something to the entire dragon clan.
Antares immediately asked,
What did it do?
As soon as he spoke, his eyes lost their light. Antares' eyes went dull, and like a puppet, he flew toward the dragon god tree. Suddenly, a divine light shone from his head. The rune Lin Moyu had placed earlier radiated brilliantly, sending out countless threads to bind Antares. The other ends of the threads were in Lin Moyu's hand, so Antares couldn't reach the tree. Lin Moyu shouted, and the rune's light intensified. Antares suddenly roared, spewing endless dragon breath, and his consciousness returned. He snapped awake. Antares asked in shock,
What just happened?
Lin Moyu said,
You were just controlled by the dragon god tree and nearly went to self-bury.
Antares felt a chill. In that instant, he really had lost consciousness. He whispered,
Why did that happen?
Lin Moyu explained,
Your soul had a restriction planted by the dragon god tree. But now it's broken, it can't control you anymore.
Suddenly, an angry, frustrated voice echoed from all directions.
Just one step away, just one step. It's all your fault, you ruined my plan.
The voice shook the sacrificial ground as the dragon god tree came alive, its branches whipping wildly, transforming into millions of divine dragons swirling in the air. Chapter 3861. A tradition of not-so-bright minds.
Un million divines dragons dansent wildly, à grand spectacle.
But to those used to such scenes, it failed to impress. Lin Moyu spoke loudly.
Ancestral dragon, why be so flustered? You're not just one step away, and the path you've chosen for resurrection is likely the wrong one.
There was a hint of mockery in Lin Moyu's tone. He clearly looked down on, and even despised, the ancestral dragon's approach. The ancestral dragon's hoarse voice echoed.
Who are you? Why are you interfering in the affairs of our dragon clan?
Lin Moyu replied, It wasn't my business, but your dragon clan provoked me, so I had to come. Besides, I'm interested in the dragon god tree, so I figured I'd clean things up while I'm here. To think you, a dignified ancestral dragon, Tao Lord of the Yang Dragon Great Tao, would go so far as to devour the souls of your own kin just to survive. When I entered the dragon tomb years ago, your descendants still revered you, hoping you'd one day return to the world.
Can you tell me why you did all this?
The ancestral dragon answered in a low voice.
You've entered the dragon tomb? You're from the origin continent.
Suddenly, his voice sharpened.
No, if you entered the dragon tomb, why aren't you cursed?
The ancestral dragon was clearly very wary of the curse, even sounding a bit fearful. Lin Moyu said,
The curse you speak of polluted many dragon corpses in the tomb, but it didn't spread any further.
Lin Moyu had paid attention to the curse in the dragon tomb. It did exist, but its spread was limited. Once a certain number of corpses were polluted, the curse stopped expanding. Now that most of the mutated dragon corpses had been cleared out, the curse seemed to have ended as well. Also, there were only corpses below the Great Tao realm in the tomb, none above that level. The ancestral dragon's voice came again.
How could this be? Why is it like this? Did I miscalculate? That shouldn't be.
His voice was full of doubt, as if questioning himself. Lin Moyu's eyes flickered, and he suddenly asked,
Back then, when you split the dragon tomb in two, was it because you couldn't bear to part with the corpses above the Great Tao realm? Of course, those are treasures, they can help.
The ancestral dragon abruptly stopped, realizing Lin Moyu was tricking him into talking. It was clear. The dragon clan's lack of cleverness was a tradition. Lin Moyu and the world-sealing Tao Lord couldn't help but glance at Antares. Antares snorted.
What's it got to do with me? I'm separated by who knows how many generations.
Lin Moyu chuckled and continued. Back then, after you returned cursed, knowing the curse was unsolvable, you split the dragon tomb before it could taint your soul. You left your body in the tomb with the lower realm dragons. letting the curse spread there. You abandoned your body, devoured the tomb of the higher realm dragons with your soul, and hid in the dragon god tree, hoping to one day rebuild your body and revive. Your body is different from us cultivators. It was born from the solar origin, so rebuilding it isn't easy. You didn't just devour the dragon corpses in the tomb, you also consumed the self-buried dragon gods here. But even that wasn't enough. You secretly placed restrictions on every divine dragon above the Great Tao realm, so you could control them when needed.
I'm afraid over the years, you've secretly killed and devoured quite a few divine dragons, haven't you?
Everything Lin Moyu said was speculation with no evidence. But from any perspective, it all made sense. After hearing Lin Moyu, the million divine dragons swirling in the sky suddenly stopped. A million giant jaws opened, and they roared in unison.
Who are you? How do you know all this?
The roar was deafening. Lin Moyu only responded with a cold laugh.
Looks like I was right.
The world-sealing Tao Lord gave a thumbs up.
Impressive, you figured all that out. Anyone who crosses you is truly out of luck.
And Terry snorted.
Exactly. This kid's mind is so devious, it could hold the whole world see.
Lin Moyu ignored them.
All right, I'll give you a chance. Tell me everything that happened in the wasteland. Leave the dragon god tree, and split half your soul for me to control. I'll let you go and even help you rebuild your body. Bullshit. I'll eat you.
The ancestral dragon roared, and a million divine dragons charged at Lin Moyu. With his status, how could he possibly accept Lin Moyu's terms? Of course, Lin Moyu knew he'd refuse. If he agreed, he wouldn't be the ancestral dragon, he'd be a worm. The dragon clan's lack of cleverness and pride all started with him. As a million dragons charged, Lin Moyu simply snapped his fingers. In an instant, the undead legion surged forth like a tidal wave, outnumbering the dragons 10,000 to 1 and smashing them back. These dragons were all formed from branches of the dragon god tree, each with the power of a first-tier innate soul great Tao realm, matching the undead legion. But in sheer numbers, the undead legion was overwhelming. A battle formation of over 10 billion undead easily repelled the million divine dragons. The ancestral dragon roared in fury, and the dragon god crown appeared, shining in the void. The defeated dragons regrouped, merging 10 into 1, turning a million into 100,000. The numbers dropped tenfold, but their power increased more than tenfold. All 100,000 dragons now reached the Tao Lord level. 100,000 Tao Lords, no place on the origin continent could muster even a tenth of that. But these were creations of the dragon god tree, they couldn't leave its range. The scarlet blood Tao spirit appeared on Lin Moyu's shoulder, unleashing a crimson tide that enveloped the ancestral dragon's sacrificial ground. The newly formed 100,000 Tao Lord dragons had their auras plummet, dropping back to first-tier innate soul. Lin Moyu said calmly,
Don't bother struggling, it's useless. If you were sure you could kill me, you'd have done it already, not talked so much. I'll count to 10. My offer still stands. If you refuse, don't blame me for being ruthless.
Lin Moyu began to count. The ancestral dragon roared.
Die.
The dragon god crown shone even brighter. In the light, lines of divine dragons appeared. These dragons were extremely powerful, each had the aura of a Tao Lord, but stronger than those created by the dragon god tree. It was the difference between branch Tao Lords and origin Tao Lords. And Terry's shouted,
Those are the past dragon gods.
Each dragon god was the strongest of their era. Even though they were first-tier innate soul great Tao realm, they were stronger than almost all others at that level. Some could even beat branch Tao Lords. With the dragon god crown, they were stronger than ordinary origin Tao Lords. The dragon god crown summoned the souls of past dragon gods. Each one opened its mouth and spat out a dragon pearl. At the same time, the dragon god tree split open, also spitting out dragon pearls. The ancestral dragon had the most 36 pearls. The other dragon gods had between 24 and 28. Among dragons, the number of dragon pearls is a mark of strength. Antares once had only 16, but after receiving one from the dragon god, and condensing more himself, he now had 22. The dragon pearls buzzed in the air, and the ones inside Antares began to resonate, trying to fly out of his body. Antares was in agony. Lin Moyu, sensing this, took out a dragon pearl, the one Lin Mohan had given Antares. Chapter 3862. Just the death of an ancestral dragon. The dragon pearl Lin Mohan gave to Antares was incredibly powerful. Lin Moyu could sense the terrifying force within it, far stronger than the ancestral dragon's pearls. This dragon pearl didn't originate from the origin continent. Its true source was unknown. Lin Mohan had only said it would be useful to Antares in the future, without specifying how. At this moment, Lin Moyu was struck by inspiration and took out the pearl. As soon as it appeared, it flew up on its own, unleashing waves of dragon roars. The terrifying pressure from the dragon roars instantly suppressed all the other dragon pearls. Not only the pearls, even the divine dragons swirling in the air fell silent under the pressure. The souls of the past dragon gods shrank back, clearly uneasy. The ancestral dragon roared.
What is that? Why is this happening?
His voice was full of fear of this dragon pearl. Under its pressure, the hundreds of dragon pearls in the air froze in place. The ancestral dragon couldn't even retrieve his own pearls. Not only that, his power was rapidly draining away. The souls of the dragon gods dimmed as their power was drawn out of the pearls, and they were on the verge of disappearing completely. The ancestral dragon's power also ebbed away, his aura dropping steadily no matter how he struggled. He couldn't reclaim his pearls. The ancestral dragon was utterly terrified. Without his pearls, he would lose almost all his power. All his efforts would be for nothing. Not only would he fail to revive, but he would die for sure.
Spare me. I agree to your terms. Just spare me.
Faced with death, even the ancestral dragon could only yield. Heroic resolve may exist, but it's rare among Tao lords, and even among great Tao realm cultivators. Those who can live forever rarely choose to die willingly. If those Tao lords and great Tao cultivators Lin Moyu killed before had a chance to beg for mercy, they wouldn't have given up either. Unfortunately, Lin Moyu never gave them that chance, just as he wasn't giving the ancestral dragon one now. Seeing Lin Moyu unmoved, the ancestral dragon turned to Antares.
You are my descendant. Please beg your friend to spare me.
Antares felt a strange emotion stir. The ancestral dragon's words did move him a little. Sensing Antares' hesitation, Lin Moyu said,
Now you want to play the emotional card? Too late. You're the Tao Lord of the young dragon Great Tao, which is why every dragon god of your clan could only rely on the dragon god crown to wield Tao Lord level power.
The implication. Only if the ancestral dragon dies does Antares have a chance to become a Tao Lord. The temptation of becoming a Tao Lord was immense. Combined with everything that had happened, Antares' brief hesitation was quickly wiped away. Antares said,
Ancestral dragon, you've done many things you shouldn't have. Please go in peace.
The ancestral dragon roared.
Don't you know that if I fall, the dragon clan will be finished?
Lin Moyu immediately retorted, No, it won't. Your dragon pearls will be absorbed if Antares refines them. He'll become the new ancestral dragon, and even stronger than you.
Don't forget what I told you before, trust me.
Antares understood instantly and whispered,
I trust you.
Between the ancestral dragon and Lin Moyu, Antares decisively chose Lin Moyu. The ancestral dragon was completely desperate. He roared.
If that's how it is, then let's die together.
The dragon god tree writhed, its branches merging into a single terrifying divine dragon, with the dragon god crown flying onto its head, making it even stronger. The divine dragon slashed at the sky, as if to shatter the great Tao itself. This was the ancestral dragon's strongest attack beyond the Tao Lord level. Lin Moyu shouted, his body radiating divine brilliance as 10,000 skeleton kings appeared behind him. Origin spell. Power gathering. Origin spell. Strengthening the army. Great Tao divine ability. Divine strength. Great Tao divine ability. Life or death. Origin spells and divine abilities were unleashed together. The sword Tao spirit appeared in his hand, transforming into a Dao sword. Lin Moyu gathered all his power, enveloped the sword in death force, and slashed fiercely. 10,000 skeleton kings raised their swords in unison, their sword light illuminating the world. Great Dao spell, Bone Blood Sword. The sword light was dazzling. Lin Moyu was blasted backward, covered in wounds, his body nearly destroyed. The skeleton kings exploded like fireworks, their bodies shattered. But the ancestral dragon fared no better. The divine dragon he had become was nearly cut in half. After this blow, the ancestral dragon's aura plummeted, his dragon pearl's power constantly drained. He could never unleash such an attack again. Lin Moyu slowly flew back, his wounds healing rapidly. With the power Great Dao and the aid of the force of life, such injuries would heal in no time. Lin Moyu asked,
"Are you still going to struggle?"
The ancestral dragon seemed to accept his fate. He said,
"You win. I know I'll die, but I have a request."
Lin Moyu replied,
"Speak. If I can, I'll do it."
The ancestral dragon said,
"After I die, please go to the dragon tomb and see if my body is still there. If I die, my body should vanish. If it's still there."
Lin Moyu frowned.
"If your body is still there, it means the curse remains."
The ancestral dragon said,
"Yes. If my body remains, it may mutate and cause great trouble for the world."
Lin Moyu said,
"The dragon tomb isn't in this space. He may not be able to find it."
The ancestral dragon said,
"He'll find it. My body contains memories of this world that will find its way here. This is my last wish. Please go and check for me, will you?"
His voice grew weak, his tone sincere. Lin Moyu said,
"Can you be more specific? Even if your body mutates, it's just a Dao Lord, nothing hard to handle."
The ancestral dragon replied,
"It's not that simple. The curse's real target isn't me. You said the curse stopped spreading. I think something went wrong."
Lin Moyu felt the situation was growing more complicated. There seemed to be many secrets. The ancestral dragon said, "That's just my feeling. I can't explain it. The dragon god crown contains my experiences after entering the wasteland. You can look at it, maybe you'll find answers."
"You must go to the dragon tomb. That's my last request."
Lin Moyu said nothing, neither agreeing nor refusing. He wasn't sure if the ancestral dragon was telling the truth, or if this was a trap. People say the dying speak kindly, but Lin Moyu didn't believe it. He doubted everything, always considering if there was a pit to fall into. Maybe he'd go to the dragon tomb, maybe not. The ancestral dragon sighed and said no more. As the power of the dragon pearls was drained, all 36 pearls shattered and turned to dust. The dragon pearl Lin Mohan gave returned to Lin Moyu's hand. He summoned the world-burning fire and baked the pearl, making sure there was no soul residue before tossing it to Antares.
"Once you become a Dao Lord, refining it should yield results."
Antares took the pearl in a daze.
"Oh."
With the ancestral dragon dead, Antares felt something missing inside, a loss in his bloodline. Not just him, but all dragons would feel it. The ancestral dragon was dead, their bloodline source was cut off. Seeing Antares staring blankly, Lin Moyu sighed.
"Don't space out, get to work."
Antares looked confused.
"Do what?"
Lin Moyu said,
"Dragon soul crystal, of course. Be normal, it's just the death of an ancestral dragon. Nothing to fuss about."
Chapter 3863. The Ancestral Dragon's Memory. Antares finally snapped out of it.
Right, the dragon soul crystal."
He quickly took out the dragon soul crystal, already an 11-colored dragon soul crystal, shining brilliantly. There's a legend among the dragon clan. If a dragon soul crystal ever reaches 12 colors, it will transform into a terrifying divine dragon that will devour all dragons, even the ancestral dragon himself. No one knows where this legend came from, but it's always been passed down in the dragon clan. As the former crown prince, Antares knew more about the dragon soul crystal than most. The dragon soul crystal can purify soul power, making the dragon clan's already powerful souls even more refined, which is why dragons are unmatched among peers of the same realm. Unfortunately, Even the purest soul is useless against a freak like Lin Moyu. Being invincible in the same realm doesn't help when you're outnumbered. There's another secret about the Dragon Soul Crystal that only a few know. Most dragons believe the Dragon Soul Crystal maxes out at 9 colors, and that 12 colors is just a myth. But Antares knew that the Dragon Soul Crystal can indeed surpass 9 colors. Once it reaches 11 colors but not yet 12, it gains a new function: devouring the Dragon God Tree. To become the Dragon God, a dragon must be recognized by the Dragon God Tree. If you have an 11-colored Dragon Soul Crystal, refine it first, then use it to devour the Dragon God Tree. You become the tree itself. Naturally, you become the next Dragon God, even if there's already one in place. The succession happens automatically. Not even the ancestral dragon can change this rule. Within the Dragon Clan, the Dragon God Tree holds a special status. It's a holy tree, as revered as the ancestral dragon himself. Now that the ancestral dragon has fallen, Antares, having already refined the Dragon Soul Crystal, can devour the Dragon God Tree. With the Dragon God crown as well, Antares will become the new Dragon God, and may even become an existence similar to the ancestral dragon. Antares got to work. The Dragon Soul Crystal transformed into a divine dragon and began devouring the Dragon God Tree. Lin Moyu swung his Dao sword, slicing off a large chunk of the Dragon God Tree and tossing it to the World Sealing Dao Lord. After all, the World Sealing Dao Lord had contributed greatly to the success of this affair. How could he not get a share of the spoils? The World Sealing Dao Lord said,
I only wanted the Dragon God Tree to trick Aoyu. It's useless to me.
Lin Moyu replied,
Try soaking it in wine. It might have a miraculous effect. Soaking it in wine?
The World Sealing Dao Lord's eyes lit up, and he immediately put the Dragon God Tree branch away. If it could be used for wine, it was a true treasure. Earlier, the ancestral dragon said his experiences in the wasteland were all stored in the Dragon God crown. But Lin Moyu didn't check it himself. Instead, he sent a phantom body to do it. If anything went wrong, it wouldn't affect his true self. The phantom body took the Dragon God crown and activated it, receiving a stream of information from within. Once the phantom body confirmed there were no issues, it transmitted the information to Lin Moyu. This way, Lin Moyu could be sure the information was 100% safe. A strange scene appeared before his eyes: the ancestral dragon's experiences in the wasteland. The land was barren, the ground an eerie crimson, radiating a peculiar aura. Lin Moyu immediately thought of the Scarlet Blood Dao spirit. The color was identical. The strange aura was the Scarlet Blood Great Dao's aura, capable of polluting anything.
Could this be where the great Dao beasts live?
Lin Moyu wondered. In the soul void, great Dao beasts were only souls. He never knew what kind of environment they lived in. If great Dao beasts lived in such a place, it would make sense that they carried a curse.
If the curse comes from the Scarlet Blood Great Dao, that's easier to handle. But it probably isn't that simple.
Lin Moyu thought of the mutated dragon corpses he'd seen in the dragon tomb. There had to be more to it. The scene moved. After arriving in the wasteland, the ancestral dragon began to act. He flew slowly, scanning the surroundings, clearly cautious and unfamiliar with the area. Likely his first time there. Soon, a pink mist appeared in his field of vision, and the ancestral dragon flew toward it. He didn't get too close, just observed from a distance. Suddenly, with a roar, a great Dao beast burst out of the pink mist and charged at the ancestral dragon. A fierce battle broke out, but the ancestral dragon was weaker than expected and was suppressed by the great Dao beast. Lin Moyu realized this was because the ancestral dragon was too far from the origin continent. The young dragon Great Dao's power couldn't reach him, so he couldn't use his full strength. The great Dao beast's power was even greater than an ordinary Dao lord's, so the ancestral dragon was no match. Lin Moyu saw the true form of the great Dao beast during the fight. Its general appearance was similar to what he'd seen in the Soul Void, but its physical body had differences. It was clearly extremely powerful, covered in countless small holes that constantly released pink mist. When the ancestral dragon's attacks touched the mist, they were greatly weakened. The mist was also highly polluting when the ancestral dragon touched it. His body was visibly contaminated, turning pink on the surface. Once covered in pink, his power seemed sealed and could barely be used. This alone gave the Great Dao Beast a huge advantage. Lin Moyu realized that Great Dao Beasts with physical bodies were much harder to deal with than their soul forms in the Soul Void. Seeing he was outmatched, the ancestral dragon tried to flee, but the Great Dao Beast chased him relentlessly. The mist turned into chains, slowing him down. The ancestral dragon used a secret technique to speed up and escape the mist. But before he could relax, more mist appeared from all directions, and countless Great Dao Beasts surrounded him. Lin Moyu could clearly feel the ancestral dragon's utter despair at that moment. He tried to escape the Lord of Hell's pursuit, only to end up in this nightmare. The Great Dao Beasts only surrounded him at first, not attacking. After a while, several giant Great Dao Beasts arrived.
Great Dao Beast Kings!
Lin Moyu immediately recognized them. Among them, the leader was the largest, even bigger than the Beast Kings, with distinct features. The moment he saw it, Lin Moyu recognized its identity.
That's the Great Dao Beast Emperor.
He never expected to witness the Great Dao Beast Emperor through the ancestral dragon's memory. This eternal level being radiated a pressure the ancestral dragon could hardly bear. His soul and body trembled uncontrollably. The Beast Emperor had 4 pairs of eyes on its head, staring coldly at the ancestral dragon. 2 beams of light shot out, striking the ancestral dragon. Startled, the ancestral dragon coughed up blood and instantly vanished. The memory ended there. Beside him, the world-sealing Dao Lord commented,
Lin Daoist, you really are cautious.
Lin Moyu replied,
It was the ancestral dragon. After all, better safe than sorry.
The world-sealing Dao Lord said,
Indeed, caution is the parent of safety. Mind letting me see that segment too?
With a thought, Lin Moyu had the phantom body transmit the information to the world-sealing Dao Lord as well. Chapter 3864. The New Ancestral Dragon. After reading the information, the world-sealing Dao Lord's expression clearly changed.
Where exactly did the ancestral dragon go? And what were those monsters?
Lin Moyu said,
The wasteland. Those creatures are called Great Dao Beasts.
The world-sealing Dao Lord looked at Lin Moyu.
You've seen them?
Lin Moyu nodded.
I've seen them in the Soul Void, and I've killed a few.
The world-sealing Dao Lord clicked his tongue.
It seems Lin Friend has seen more and more things. I thought I could talk to you about some other matters, but it seems you might already know.
Lin Moyu caught the deeper meaning in his words.
Once this is over, let's find another place to talk.
The world-sealing Dao Lord smiled and nodded. The Dragon Soul Crystal was still devouring the Dragon God Tree, a process that would take some time. But at this moment, Antares' aura was already rising. The Dragon Soul Crystal was his, and as it devoured the Dragon God Tree, his power grew. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before Antares broke through the Great Dao Realm and achieved Dao Lord status. He was of pure dragon blood. If not for past accidents, he would have been the next dragon god. Now, with the ancestral dragon fallen and the young dragon Great Dao's Dao Lord position vacant, Antares' succession was only natural. Suddenly, Lin Moyu looked up, his gaze piercing the Great Dao to a distant place.
Someone's coming. I'll handle it.
The world-sealing Dao Lord followed Lin Moyu's gaze and chuckled.
Go on, don't leave any loose ends.
Lin Moyu said.
I always finish things cleanly.
He unfurled the wings of the time curse, shooting out like he was teleporting. Time flowed, accelerating Lin Moyu. In a flash, he left the Yang Dragon Great Dao. A few flickers through the void, and within just 10 breaths, Lin Moyu arrived at his destination. A towering tree stood in the void. Upon seeing Lin Moyu, the tree vanished, transforming into an old man in a blue robe. Lin Moyu frowned.
Withering and flourishing elder, I remember saying I don't like people who wear blue robes.
Withering and flourishing elder's expression changed, and his clothes instantly turned gray. He bowed to Lin Moyu.
Withering and flourishing greets Lin Friend.
Lin Moyu smiled faintly.
So polite? Not planning to settle old scores?
Withering and flourishing elder shook his head.
Lin friend, please don't joke. Everything before was my fault. I'm here specifically to apologize. Please be magnanimous.
Lin Moyu replied.
And if I'm not?
Withering and flourishing elder gave a series of bitter laughs.
Then however Lin friend wants me to atone, I'll do my best.
Lin Moyu scrutinized him, making the old man very uncomfortable. After a few moments, Lin Moyu waved his hand.
Forget it. Since you've said so, let's leave it at that.
Withering and flourishing elder's face lit up with joy.
Really?
Lin Moyu said.
Before I change my mind, you'd better disappear.
Withering and flourishing elder bowed again.
Thank you for your magnanimity, Lin friend.
He turned and quickly vanished. Returning to the ancestral dragon sacrificial ground, the world-sealing Tao Lord chuckled.
Didn't expect you to let him go.
Lin Moyu said.
Withering and flourishing is nothing to me. Whether he lives or dies doesn't matter. I'm in a good mood, so let's say he got lucky.
To him, withering and flourishing elder was like an ant. Even if he became a Tao Lord, he'd just be a bigger ant. Since the old man had come to apologize so humbly, Lin Moyu let it go. The world-sealing Tao Lord glanced at Antares.
Looks like he still needs some time. Why don't we drink while we wait?
He waved his hand, producing a large table covered with simple snacks and several jars of wine. No matter when, he was always a wine lover. The two drank and chatted, sharing stories from recent years. Lin Moyu recounted some of his experiences, some things he could say, some he couldn't, and he was careful about what he shared. The world-sealing Tao Lord also spoke about what he'd done over the past 1,000 years. After becoming a Tao Lord, he too received a destiny. His destiny was to set up formations, but where and what kind of formations was not specified. Lin Moyu could hear some reservations in his words and had some guesses. According to the world-sealing Tao Lord, the formation he set up was the strongest of his life, taking over 800 years. During that time, he could barely spare any attention to help Lin Moyu. Luckily, he suppressed those outer Great Tao guys on his own. Only after his destiny ended did he help Lin Moyu and trick the Dragon Clan. Half a day later, the Dragon God Tree was finally completely devoured. At this moment, Antares' aura reached its peak. When the Dragon Soul Crystal, now transformed into a divine dragon, returned to his body, the peak shattered with a boom. Antares threw his head back and let out a dragon roar that swept through the entire formation. All surviving dragons within the Yang Dragon Great Tao heard Antares' voice. They saw his projection cast into the void, filling the Great Tao. The void left by the ancestral dragon's death was filled. Antares became the new ancestral dragon, once again the source of the Dragon Clan. All Dragon Clan members prostrated themselves, welcoming the new ancestral dragon and dragon god. In the projection, the dragon god crown flew onto Antares' head, and behind him, the dragon god tree flickered in and out of sight. Antares' voice echoed in every dragon's ear.
The Dragon Clan must break to stand anew. From now on, all dragons must unite, no more infighting. Those who disobey will be cut down. Obey the Dragon God's decree.
All members of the Dragon Clan responded in unison. Antares' aura gradually stabilized. He had already ascended to Tao Lord, though the refining process continued, and he would keep growing stronger for some time.
How does it feel?
Lin Moyu asked with a smile. Antares nodded.
It feels great. So the Dragon God Tree was the ancestral dragon's companion tree. It actually existed before the ancestral dragon.
After devouring the Dragon God Tree with the Dragon Soul Crystal, Antares learned some of its secrets. Back when the solar origin gave birth to the ancestral dragon, the first thing born was actually the Dragon God Tree. The ancestral dragon was born on the tree, and the Dragon God Crown was born alongside him. So the true origin of the Dragon Clan wasn't the ancestral dragon, but the Dragon God Tree. After merging with the Dragon God Tree, Antares became the new source of the Dragon Clan. With the Dragon God Crown, he could now unleash power beyond that of an origin Tao Lord. If he fully refined the Dragon God Tree, His power could even rival the Lord of Hell in his prime. Lin Moyu studied Antares, frowning as if he wanted to say something but hesitated. Antares said,
Don't make that face. If you have something to say, just say it.
Lin Moyu glanced at the world-sealing Tao Lord.
Let's talk somewhere else.
With a wave, he set up a formation to shield the three of them. Several elemental liches appeared in their true forms to guard them. Lin Moyu said,
Let's take a trip to the Soul Void.
Inside the Soul Void, Lin Moyu released a massive number of skeleton generals to quickly locate Antares and the world-sealing Tao Lord. The skeleton generals led them out of the origin continent, into the world beyond. After traveling a while, Lin Moyu finally stopped.
Here, the world can't sense us. Say whatever you want. Senior, how did you learn of the existence of the world will?
Chapter 3865. If you have something to say, just say it. Previously, the world-sealing Tao Lord's hesitant demeanor had already revealed a lot. He must have sensed the existence of the world will, but inside the world itself, he couldn't speak of it openly. The world-sealing Tao Lord said, Lin friend, you really do know of its existence. Let me start, then.
Back then, I followed my destiny and went to set up a formation. The location was in the Soul Void, just outside the mist.
At this, Lin Moyu knew his guess had been right. The mist was where the world's origin core was located, the most important region for the world will. Even before fully recovering, the world will had already thought to protect its core, showing how much it valued that place. It could also be inferred that during the origin catastrophe, that region had been attacked, making the world will extremely cautious ever since. As the number 1 formation master on the origin continent, the world-sealing Tao Lord was naturally chosen by destiny to set up a formation. The world-sealing Tao Lord continued, at the time, I received a formation diagram. I followed it to set up the formation and found it to be the strongest formation I'd ever seen. And outside the mist, there were already remnants of a formation, meaning someone had tried to set up this formation before but failed. As I was setting up the formation, I studied the remnants and discovered some hidden information within them.
You'd never guess who tried to set up this formation before and failed.
He looked at Lin Moyu and Antares. Antares shook his head.
How could we possibly guess?
He was still half in the dark, not fully understanding what the world-sealing Tao Lord meant. Lin Moyu said,
If I'm not mistaken, it was someone from the Buddhist clan.
The world-sealing Tao Lord froze, blurting out,
How did you know?
Lin Moyu smiled.
Just a guess. Please continue. What did you learn?
The world-sealing Tao Lord said,
He was the formation Tao Lord of the previous era. Unfortunately, his formation skills weren't enough to complete the formation, and in the end, he died because of it.
Lin Moyu sneered.
Couldn't finish the formation and got killed. Tao Lords really are like ants.
The world-sealing Tao Lord nodded in agreement.
He sensed his impending death, so he left some information in the formation remnants. That's how I learned that our world actually has a world will.
Lin Moyu said.
And then you finished setting up the formation.
The world-sealing Tao Lord sounded a little helpless.
Of course. I was following destiny. If I didn't finish, I'd be the one to die. But while setting up the formation, I kept studying it and came to a conclusion.
Antares couldn't help asking.
What conclusion?
The world-sealing Tao Lord said quietly, This formation has 2 functions, defense and absorption. Even though I set it up in the Soul Void, the formation can, through special means, affect the real world. In other words, it's a formation that works in both the virtual and real worlds. It can defend against attacks from both realms at the same time. The absorption function is even more terrifying. It's hidden deep within the formation, but I still found it.
The formation can absorb the power of all living beings on the origin continent to fuel its defense. When running at full power, it could even drain everyone on the origin continent, including Tao Lords.
Antares' soul shuddered.
That terrifying?
Lin Moyu said, The world will controls our true spirit marks. Using those, and this formation, it can control the life and death of every living being in the world. All living beings including snakes, insects, rats, ants. To the world will, we cultivators are no different from bugs, just a bit stronger, with a bit more power, so we can be drained a bit longer.
And even if it doesn't drain us now, when it tries to become eternal, it will sacrifice us all anyway.
The world-sealing Tao Lord said quietly,
I don't want to die, but I can't think of a way out. So I came to you, Lin friend, and you didn't disappoint.
Lin Moyu sighed.
It's complicated, but I'm working on it.
Lin Moyu shared some information about the world will with the world-sealing Tao Lord. When the Tao Lord heard that the world will had already tried to break through to eternity, but was forced back into slumber by Lin Moyu's arrangements, he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. At the time, he really had felt like his end was near, a feeling that came from deep in his soul and terrified him. Lin Moyu said, the world will is cunning. It made two preparations, not only trying to break through to eternity, but also preparing for failure.
It was afraid someone would attack while it was vulnerable, so it set up this formation to use the world's power to resist outsiders.
Suddenly, Lin Moyu's expression changed.
Wait, there's a problem.
Antares asked.
What is it?
Lin Moyu said, the Morning Bell and Twilight Drum Emperors said it would sleep for 10,000 years, but they didn't know about this formation.
If the formation absorbed part of the attack, the world will's slumber will be shortened.
The world-sealing Tao Lord asked quietly.
How much shorter?
Lin Moyu said.
It depends on the formation's strength. I'd have to see it to know, but I can't go now, and I'm guessing you don't know the way either.
The world-sealing Tao Lord replied.
Right, I was teleported there, so I don't know the exact location. But I have a way.
He immediately drew a divine rune and set up a formation, which projected an image. Within the projection, the formation appeared. Lin Moyu smiled.
You really came prepared, Senior. To project an image from so far away, aren't you afraid of being discovered?
The world-sealing Tao Lord said quietly.
He can't detect it. It's a built-in function of the formation, probably left by its creator. He only got the formation diagram, and doesn't know all its abilities. Now, the formation has been activated and absorbed vast energy, reaching its limit. To further increase its defense, it would have to absorb the power of living beings from the world.
Lin Moyu said, at the time, the world will must have realized that even absorbing all the living beings' power wouldn't be enough to withstand the two emperors.
And since things hadn't reached the worst point, it didn't activate the absorption.
This formation did block part of the attack. After checking, Lin Moyu estimated that the Morning Bell and Twilight Drum Emperor's attack was reduced by about half. 10,000 years of slumber definitely wouldn't be enough at most. 5,000 years. 5,000 years is long, but not that long. He didn't know how long his next plans would take. 5,000 years might not be enough. If necessary, he'd have to ask the emperors for help again, but the cost would only be higher. After thinking it over, Lin Moyu shared his plans with the world-sealing Tao Lord, asking him to find a suitable world like the third ancestor. As for Antares, Lin Moyu couldn't decide for the moment. Antares muttered,
I told you, don't make that face. If you have something to say, just say it.
Chapter 3866. Opening a Path.
Your situation is a bit troublesome.
Antares' current state left Lin Moyu somewhat at a loss. Lin Moyu had considered making Antares the new dragon god, even the Tao Lord of the Yang Dragon Great Tao, but he had never planned for Antares to become the new ancestral dragon. Now, Antares' ties to the origin continent were too deep, making any attempt to sever them much more difficult. If he could obtain the Shirtion Stone and the Immortal Jade, Antares could fake his death once his realm would drop, but he'd survive. But now, Antares had become the new ancestral dragon, and the ancestral dragon was the very first being born of this era's world. The effect of the Shirtion Stone would be greatly diminished unless Antares was willing to pay a much higher price. But doing so would inflict severe harm, and even with spirit flowers, he might not recover or, with bad luck, he could even die. This was the source of Lin Moyu's headache. This step was outside his original plan. Antares, however, seemed unconcerned.
I thought it was something serious. What's the big deal? At worst, I'll just die once.
Lin Moyu pondered for a moment but couldn't think of a good solution.
First, refine that dragon pearl. There's still time, maybe something will change. I'll keep asking around, see if there's another way. There's always a sliver of hope in this world. No matter how hard, there's always a way.
At this point, all they could do was take things one step at a time and ask the discernment beast for advice next time. Lin Moyu also had a feeling that the dragon pearl his sister brought had more potential. Maybe it would bring a miracle. He returned to the origin continent and said goodbye to Antares. The dragon clan had much to rebuild, and Antares was busy. Lin Moyu also had his own matters to attend to. The world-sealing Tao Lord left the origin continent to search for a suitable world. According to Lin Moyu's plan, he would become the lord of a world, but he had to find it himself. The third ancestor and others had already found worlds suited to them, so he didn't want to fall behind. Lin Moyu returned to the origin continent and spent a few days in Yuedao City with Little Mist and the others. He didn't know how long it would be before he returned, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of years. Most likely, the next time he came back, it would be for a life and death battle. The formation the world-sealing Tao Lord set up for the world will made Lin Moyu feel a sense of crisis. While he was making his moves, the world will seem to be preparing as well. If the world will use the formation to absorb the world's living beings, then even if Lin Moyu won, the cost would be too great. There were only two ways to solve this. 1. Act swiftly and give the world will no chance to activate the formation. 2. Destroy the formation, but it was so advanced, he wasn't capable of it yet. During the days Lin Moyu stayed in Yuedao City, the outer Great Tao was in chaos. Blood flowed and heads rolled. The Hell Alliance's experts had all been killed by Lin Moyu, and the various forces once suppressed by the Hell Alliance now emerged, mercilessly wiping out its remnants. The Hell Alliance had always been overbearing, making countless enemies. Now that the tree had fallen, the monkeys scattered, everyone fled for their lives. Whether they survived depended on their luck. Compared to the outer Great Tao, the origin continent was much more peaceful. Perhaps because Lin Moyu was present, and everyone feared heavenly punishment, all who entered the origin continent behaved themselves. No one dared act recklessly or damage the continent. In the core of the central continent, where Lin Moyu had sat for 1,000 years, his murderous aura condensed into a resting avatar. As long as he was there, no one dared cause trouble. Lin Moyu alone suppressed the entire world. Though he wasn't a Tao Lord, in most people's eyes, he was already the world's strongest. A month later, Lin Moyu quietly left the origin continent. This time, he didn't enter the soul void, but the real world. He reached the edge of the world and saw the world mist. In the soul void, there was chaotic mist. In the real world, it was the world mist. The two were similar, yet fundamentally different. The world mist was also filled with great Taos, which originated from the origin ancestral land and radiated through both the real and virtual worlds. But the great Tao power in the world mist wasn't chaotic. So long as the great Tao you cultivated existed there, you could use it at will. However, their distribution was uneven. Different areas contained different Taos. Not long after entering the world mist, Lin Moyu arrived in a region where the effects of the Fate Great Tao were greatly weakened because the Fate Great Tao didn't exist there. After flying further, the Space Great Tao was suppressed, but the Fate Great Tao returned. Different regions suited different cultivators. Lin Moyu mused,
If you want to fight here, do you have to find a place suited to your Tao?
but no matter the region, the immortality, time, and power Great Taos could always be used freely, completely unaffected. This rule was the same as in the Soul Void. Any Tao that had entered the origin ancestral land could be used anywhere. As he moved farther from the origin continent, Lin Moyu's aura only grew stronger. Soon, he reached the peak of first-tier innate soul, his body rumbling as if about to break through. In truth, Lin Moyu could have become a Tao Lord long ago, but he didn't want to do it on the origin continent. He knew that breaking through could trigger phenomena and draw the world will's attention. Even if the world will was asleep, he didn't want to risk it. Now, far from the origin continent, he released his restraints, letting his world grow stronger and himself surge toward the Tao Lord realm. To Lin Moyu, the Tao Lord title was just an empty concept. He didn't need it, he was the master of his own world. If he wished, he could be the Tao Lord of every great Tao in his world. For him,
Tao Lord
was just a measure of strength, a common label. He had already walked a path completely different from others. Even the top world lords, like the human emperor, achieved their Tao through a specific great Tao or a powerful world. But Lin Moyu had created a world entirely his own, with rules different from anywhere else. In his world, nothing was subject to the limits of heaven and earth. If anything was truly
defying the heavens,
his myriad worlds were even more so than his elemental liches.
No matter what lies ahead, even if there's no road, I'll carve a new one. Open the path. Break through.
Lin Moyu's heart was resolute. The myriad worlds released all restraints and broke through with a roar. In an instant, wind and clouds surged. Immense power swept from the myriad worlds, scattering the surrounding world mist. The great Taos were also driven away, leaving a vacuum around Lin Moyu. The shadow of the myriad worlds appeared beneath his feet.